Silent Hill F isn't just another horror game. It's the franchise's first true leap forward in over a decade, and it takes Silent Hill into one of its most disturbing and fascinating settings yet. But the big question is, does it live up to its name? Dark streets, a quiet mist, and something lurking just beyond sight. Silent Hill has always thrived on fear of the unknown, and with Silent Hill F, Konami is attempting to breathe new life into the series. Welcome to Horror to Study 2. Today we're going to be taking a spoiler-free look at the newest entry in the Silent Hill franchise, Silent Hill F. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. This review is based off my first full playthrough of the story. The game does feature multiple endings, and while it encourages replaying to uncover all the details, I'll be focusing on that first time experience. And of course, this review is just my own perspective. Your experience may be different depending on what you value in a horror game. With that out of the way, let's step into the fog and see what Silent Hill F has to offer. This game is set in 1960s rural Japan, which is a big shift away from the foggy American town fans are used to. Developed by a new creative team, it's a mix of old Silent Hill DNA and fresh cultural influences. For longtime fans, the idea of a brand new setting and cast is exciting, but also risky, so expectations were high. What Silent Hill F nails almost immediately is atmosphere. Environments feel unsettling and alien, often walking the line between beautiful and grotesque. The horror isn't about cheap jump scares. It's about a slow, gnawing dread. Every hallway, every moment of quiet feels dangerous. The game thrives on making you feel uncomfortable. Gameplay leans heavily into classic survival horror design, but it does add some modern mechanics. Exploration is full of environmental storytelling, but unlike older titles like Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill F is much more linear. Streets are tighter, corridors are narrower, and there's less open area to wander, which keeps tension high but limits free exploration. Puzzles return, some straightforward, some that force you to stop and think, and they definitely help break up the tension. Combat is still clunky, as with most Silent Hill games, but not without depth. You now have access to counterattacks, perfect dodges, and a new mechanic called the sanity bar. The system rewards careful play. When your sanity is managed well, it becomes easier to land counterattacks and deal more damage. These additions don't make combat smooth, but they do make it more strategic, and they fit the theme of vulnerability while giving you tools to survive. Visually, Silent Hill F is striking. The contrast between rural landscapes and the surreal, organic corruption creates unforgettable imagery. The other real star is the audio design. From the oppressive silence to sudden stingers, from unsettling ambient noises to the soundtrack that just feels wrong enough to keep you on edge, this could be Silent Hill at its best. Voice acting is generally strong, though there are a few uneven moments. The music, though, deserves its own mention. The soundtrack is haunting, emotional, and perfectly layered into the atmosphere. It ranges from quiet, unsettling ambient tracks to chilling melodies that capture the melancholy of Silent Hill is known for. In many ways, the music does as much heavy lifting as the visuals in keeping you on edge. Of course, it wouldn't be Silent Hill without disturbing creatures. The monster designs in Silent Hill F really stand out. They're grotesque, surreal, and perfectly match the psychological tone the story is going for. Each one feels like an extension of the game's themes rather than just generic enemies. They may not be as iconic as something like Pyramid Head, but they're unique, memorable, and deeply unsettling to encounter. Before talking about how the story plays out, it's worth mentioning the writer, Ryukishi07. If you're unfamiliar with the name, he's best known for creating the visual novels Higurashi When They Cry and Umineko When They Cry, works famous for their psychological horror, layered mysteries, and disturbing themes. That background carries into Silent Hill F, and you can really feel his style and how the story mixes unsettling human drama with surreal, almost dreamlike horror. The story itself is best experienced blind, so of course I'm not going to spoil anything. What I can say is that it's cryptic, surreal, and deeply unnerving. Again, like most Silent Hill games, the themes it explores are heavy and may not be for everyone. Some players might even find parts of it uncomfortable. On top of that, the ending is disappointing on a first playthrough. It feels more like a setup than a payoff, and unless you replay the game multiple times, it feels like you're left with an incomplete picture. Personally, I found that frustrating. A game's end should feel satisfying on its own in some way or another, and not demand multiple playthroughs just to fully understand the story. Surprisingly, on the technical side, performance is mostly solid. Frame rates held up, no major bugs or crashing, load times were quick, and outside of combat stiffness, controls worked as expected. However, there's one issue worth mentioning: texture glitches. I saw small ones here and there, but in one instance it was so bad, I had to completely exit and restart the game for it to fix itself. It's not constant, but when it happens, it can break immersion and be slightly annoying. So, how does it compare? Silent Hill F doesn't try to be Silent Hill 2, and that's a smart choice. Instead, it borrows the psychological DNA of the series and mixes it with Japanese folklore and aesthetics, making it feel both familiar and fresh. In a way, it feels like the Resident Evil 7 of the Silent Hill franchise. Resident Evil 7 completely revitalized its series by giving players a fresh perspective while still respecting its roots. Silent Hill F does something similar. It feels new and different, but the DNA of older Silent Hill titles is still here, just reframed in a new setting. In the end, Silent Hill F isn't gonna be for everyone. If you're after polished combat, straightforward storytelling, or an ending that feels satisfying and neatly ties everything together in one go, you might come away disappointed. The multiple playthrough requirement for fully grasping the plot feels like a missed opportunity. But if you crave atmosphere, layered psychological storytelling, unsettling monster design, chilling music, and a horror that lingers in your head long after you put down the controller, this game is absolutely worth your time. For me, Silent Hill F is a flawed but fascinating revival of the series, one that manages to honor its roots while carving out something new, even if it stumbles at times. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments if Silent Hill F is on your radar, or if you're waiting to see more impressions before jumping in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed the review.